devious little fans, we're gonna wait a little bit for more people to come in, and then we're gonna start the live stream, okay? I feel like I should talk about something even though no one's here, but I don't know what to talk about. Honestly, I'm just really excited to be starting to be doing Vtuber, and I realized I've never actually done a live stream before. I've kind of want to test out the features on this thing, figure out what really happened here. So this was kind of just a test run. So I was really excited for this, honestly, and I'm kind of excited to see how these features work, because I've never really done a live stream before. So I'm still kind of just testing out how everything kind of works. As probably many have seen on this channel, I mostly do just pre-recorded videos and upload them because I constantly just have such a tongue-tied mouth, and constantly I'll be talking and then I'll just stumble over my own words and then I have to go right back, and it just makes me so frustrated all the time. Just, yeah. You can hear, sometimes you'll even hear in my videos just a pause cut, because that's me cutting out the parts where my tongue gets tied. So I've never really thought about doing live streams before because of that. But I thought I'd test it out because I actually wanted to see what my friends are like. I wanted to meet some of them. I wanted to see how things go. I didn't really want to go into this with any high expectations due to that, because I didn't know if anyone would actually come or not. So I'm kind of just excited to see how this goes, really. I don't know. I mean, I was kind of just trying to figure out what to even do for this, honestly, because I had absolutely no plans going into this. I thought about playing some games or like Q&As or like even, I don't know, just some dumb game, something like dumb, like, I don't know, 2 truths and a lie. I'm not entirely certain, honestly, but I wanted to see how it worked, and I'm not entirely certain myself. I'm kind of just excited and can't wait to see who pops in first. It's actually kind of weird. I've been doing social media for a little bit now, I think over a year now, which honestly is kind of surprising. I believe my channel's anniversary will almost be coming up soon too, now I think about it. So maybe we should do something for that. I don't know. But yeah. What was I about to say? I honestly can't remember. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of just curious how live works. I'm curious what it looks from your end, what you guys see, what I see versus, it's all kind of just makes me, I want to see how this all works. Honestly, I've noticed a lot that my views have been decreasing, but I think that's due to the new algorithm updates, sadly. I'm really hoping that gets straightened out, because I would love to get a better reach on my channel eventually. I know that I have a few very loyal followers, and I'm very thankful that they watch my channel and videos and like my content. Honestly, as long as there's a few people that even like the videos, it keeps me motivated to keep creating content. And I really do enjoy making these funny skits and animations. They're a lot of fun, even if they are a lot time consuming, but they're a lot of fun to make. And I really enjoy them. I enjoy filming, editing, making, all of it's just a lot of fun, even if it just makes me so tired by the end of it. And I love getting inspired by other people who also make content, because I love seeing what they make. It's a lot of fun to watch how they get inspired, the funny jokes. I honestly love it. I love just scrolling through my feeds and just seeing what they make, because honestly, the internet's such a great way to show and kind of share what we do and what inspires us and what makes us happy, our hobbies, our skills, and honestly, I love seeing all the love that goes into that. I am thinking about making more animations, but I'm not entirely certain which ones to make, honestly. I have some ideas in mind, but I wouldn't mind getting some suggestions from you guys. Honestly, that's a big thing. Honestly, I do want to get suggestions from people and kind of just figure out what they like. I've gotten some comments about what to make already, what contents they like, games they like to see. Right now, I'm kind of playing Cult of Lamb, which I really enjoy. It's really weird, though, because I'm still not fully understanding how it's meant to be played, since I never really played any other game but maybe Sims and Minecraft. So it's really fun to like branch out and choose other different games to play. So I would love to get suggestions on games to play. I've seen a lot of like newer games coming out. So maybe I'll try those. Poppy Playtime's gotten really popular. I've never actually played any of the games. But I have seen that they're really well loved. I'm just worried that I might get stressed out. Because the weird thing about me is that when I get stressed, I start randomly singing. You'll see that in my videos of just me randomly singing as I'm running away or fighting monsters. And it just I turn almost any video into a musical. And it's really funny, honestly. It's honestly really weird because I actually don't like musicals. I was actually a part of a musical for a while. 2 musicals, in fact. I played background choreography for both. I hated it, honestly. I did not like it. It was so annoying because after performances, I would get the song stuck in my head for weeks on end. It annoyed the living out of me because you would have to remember the song and the choreography and and your placement. It was a lot and it took a toll on me. I kind of hated musicals before that even because just these catchy upbeat songs would just irritate me for no good reason. Not to say that I don't enjoy musicals, because I do. Some musicals I do enjoy. I think I just don't like the idea of just I think I just don't like the idea of repeatedly hearing the same musicals again and again. I think I kind of just need a break from them every now and again to kind of enjoy them again. I feel like that's the problem. I just really don't like random singing though. In fact, when I watch movies or anything with random singing in it, I'll just immediately stop pressing the fast forward button past them so I don't have to listen to it. Music itself is wonderful. I'll listen to it on my own when I go for walks or when I go out just walking about. But in movies, for some reason, I just wanted to fast forward and just get it done with, honestly. Because it irritates me. Because I'm just like, okay, get on with it. Let's get to the main part of the song and movie. Past this, I don't need to hear your cringy singing. Let's move this along. Which is weird for me because it's kind of ironic. Because I am an idol. My whole thing is that I love to perform. I love singing, dancing. And yet, for some reason, I can't stand random singing. I do not know what the correlation is. I don't know why. But it's weird. Funny weird, but weird nonetheless. I really do enjoy ironic jokes, though. They're kind of fun. They make me laugh. I don't like jokes that kind of just have, no thought behind them. Like, I freaking hate B puns. There's no intellectual thought behind them, and I'm just having to. There's nothing to grasp on. You don't laugh at it. They're dumb. I like my jokes kind of like riddles. If I don't have to think about the joke, then it's not funny. I prefer to enjoy jokes that have a little bit of, I don't know how to explain this, like a little bit of thought process behind them. Like you have to like pause and then understand it for it to be funny. Which is why I love ironic jokes so much, because the thing about them is that you're like, wait, why is this funny? And you realize, oh, it's funny because A, B, C, and then that's what makes you laugh. I don't know why. I also really do enjoy dark humor too, because growing up I had a lot of friends that were really into dark humor or dark stuff. And that made me laugh a lot because I love the jokes. But at the same time, I don't like horror myself, because growing up, hated horror movies. They sucked. Like, I was terrified of horror movies growing up. Horror games, horror movies, horror theme parks, anything of the matter. And it freaked me out. I wouldn't want to go near those things for any reason. Like, they sucked. I would get so jumpy and freak out. And the worst part about it is that when I get scared, I have 2 responses to this. I am either going to freeze up, which, by the way, worst defense you can ever do is just freeze up. Because that's the number one way for them to attack you. At least running is better. Because then, hey, at least you got a few minutes to try escape, maybe. But like, freeze, you're dead. You're dead. You're dead if you freeze up. Even prey animals, for the most part, have a better fear response than that. Or even like animals that do freeze, like possums, they at least know to play dead. Me, I just freeze like a freaking statue. Option B though, option B is that I go into a fight mode, and that is never good when you are in a pretend horror situation, because you do not want to hurt anyone. So I just avoided haunted houses for the longest time, which really sucked, honestly, because they turn out to be a lot of fun as long as you are a part of it. I loved being part of a horror house back when I was younger and being a scare actor. It was so much fun, honestly, to be a part of that team, to put together costumes, to act out and improvise. We had a few like bad interactions, but overall it was a lot of fun to hang out with friends and meet new people and kind of just, get to scare the living out of people. And I enjoyed that a lot more than getting scared. So I think that kind of just helped me get over that a little bit, is by, instead of being the scared, you be the scarer. And it made Halloween a lot more enjoyable. I don't know where to go from this, honestly. I just been jumping from one topic to the next, and that's kind of how my brain works, is that I will just talk for hours on end, and just, if no one stops me, I will just go from another topic to another topic. And sometimes it's so much fun because I will go on random rants about nothing that makes sense. People get so confused by that, because I will be coming up with theories while making food or just walking around the house, and people will see that and just think I'm crazy. I've been told on multiple occasions that I look crazy while doing this. But it's just how I think. I think out loud, I talk out loud, and it kind of helps me process my thoughts. And I love creating out like these little theories. Like, that's why I enjoy shows like Game Theory or Film Theory, whatever the franchise. I love the channel because it's honestly really fun to create theories about the things you love. It kind of gets you wrapped up in it some more. Yeah, I don't know why. Like, one of the main things I love to do theories on, though, is shows I love. Mostly anime. I get so involved in those and try to come up with theories or solutions or just random tangents about the show. Because when I love something, I get really deeply involved into it. For example, I once got on a long tangent about, the quirks of My Hero Academia, because I honestly, there's like 3 different options, right? You have a quirk of a power, a physical attribute, or a mixture of the two. And I think that was really interesting, because otherwise you're considered quirkless. But what I found interesting about that was that when I actually put into that kind of like descriptions and actually group those into different groups of themselves defined by the description, I started thinking Odro, the character that's really good at karate, I think, like martial arts, and has a tail, I kind of realized, does he actually have a quirk? Because I honestly did not know. Like, when you put them into sections like that, you would think he would go into mutation quirk, right? Well, here's the problem. Yes, that is a mutation, but does it qualify as a quirk? Because you see other characters have mutations. For example, Mina has horns and pink skin, but that's not her quirk. Her quirk is acid. But she has mutation, right? When I think of mutation-like quirks, I think of more like maybe Kirishima, who has a mutation-like ability that can be turned on and off. And that's his quirk. But Ojiro's quirk is his tail. And does that, like, in all honesty, does that really qualify as a quirk? I don't know. Like, you can argue with me on this one, but I honestly want to say he's actually quirkless. It's a weird thing. Love to hear arguments on the matter. But that is a weird thing for me to think about, is just, does he actually have a quirk if it's a mutation quirk that's a part of his body and cannot be turned on or off? and or by the matter of factor that it is I don't know, it's hard for me to describe, but I went on a full blown tangent of it overnight, and even drew up a whole map and kind of describing the different quirks and stuff, and just, you would think I was a freaking psycho by that. Like, it looked like that meme, you know that meme where the guy has a board, this is often used for Shoto, where it's a board of just sticky notes and it's just hear me out, and it's just like those little things. It looked like that. I had a whiteboard and everything, was just drawing those things out. I get wrapped up so much into shows, and it makes me look crazy, but I love it. Another example is Apothecary Diaries. I absolutely love Apothecary Diaries. And I don't know, it's just, I feel like I relate to the main character so much, because she's got it's not so much her personality, I don't know if it's her personality I agree with so much, but her addiction that I love, that I agree with so much, is that when you find something you love, you kind of just get really giddy about it. It could change your whole personality, how people view you, when you are involved in something you loved. And when she is involved with poison, she gets so excited. It's like her personality does a 180, which Jinshi loves, and I love too, because yeah, it's true. When you do something you love, it's like something about you just changes. Your whole attitude just goes up. You're more excited, you're more happy, and that's the thing for me. Like, I love finding out of just random information sometimes. If you watch a previous video, you'll know that I actually have an affinity for flowers. I love flowers. I love learning about different types, their effects, their meanings, definitions, how they were used, and they're honestly pretty cool when you actually learn about these things. And so many different poisonous plants are actually used in everyday gardening, and you wouldn't know unless you actually took the time to actually learn about them. And it's so weird. I'm so sorry. I just my freaking camera just fell over. So if you heard a crash, that was why. I'm so sorry about that. So yeah, honestly, yeah, I think I kind of disagree with that, you know? Just, it's really enjoyable to watch something and fall in love with it and get wrapped up into it. And connecting with characters, I feel like just makes the show more enjoyable, I feel like. Because, I don't know, like, it just kind of relates to them. You can, like, kind of feel more part of the universe when you are connected to a character. It doesn't even have to be the main character. It could kind of just be a background character, honestly, too. And I love that. Even if I don't connect to a character, sometimes it's just good to find a character you love, or a character that you have affection for, and that can also get you wrapped into it. I know so many different animes that I have tried watching because friends wanted me to get into it, and if I don't have one attachment to at least one of the characters, I will not enjoy the show. The writing can be good, the storyline can be great, it can have great meaning, but if I don't enjoy the characters, I can't get into the thing. For example, this is a book that I read, Wuthering Heights. I absolutely hated Wuthering Heights. And knowing that coming out with a commercial for Wuthering Heights and the original advertisement for Wuthering Heights was meant to look like it was a romance, but it's not. Wuthering Heights, I don't care who you ask, is not a romance book. I am telling you right now, from someone who's read the book, had to do reports on it, had to do notes on it, who was part of a book club for Wuthering Heights. It is not a romance book. It's traumatic, it is dark, it is edgy. You won't like any of the characters, and any character you do like, you will eventually hate by the end of this book. And I hated the fact that it was advertised as a romance book, originally. And even commercials for the new movie coming out, it's originally advertised as a romance book. I'm glad they changed that. It looks more, fits the tone better, it looks more dark and edgy, which I do appreciate. But originally, it was not. It was kind of written like a romance, and I do not like that. Because Wuthering Heights isn't a romance. It has romantic parts, it has romantic storyline, it has romantic, relationships, but it in of itself is not romantic. I think the word is meant to use a satire towards the richer higher-ups and how it takes a play. how their lives are like. Um, and which was interesting, like I said. The storyline of Wuthering Heights is interesting. It's a bit everywhere. You kind of have to get past a few chapters to actually get to the main storyline, but it does build up background and understanding for the story, so you're not going in missing parts. Because I feel like if you didn't read the first initial chapters, you would be lost later in the book, even though it just feels like fluff. But it honestly was not a good book that I enjoyed, sadly, because I couldn't enjoy a single character. I didn't like a single one. Not a single character did I like. I couldn't like any of them. In my opinion, they all kind of sucked. Even when I found a character that I was like, okay, maybe you'll be good, maybe I'll like you, it would not stick. And by a few chapters in, I would already hate that character again. Because everyone was kind of just selfish, self-absorbed, and narcissistic. It was just overall awful. And I don't want to get too deep into details of the book in case people decide they want to read it, or that they found out they actually do enjoy the book, which could happen. Some people might actually enjoy the book. But personally, I just did not like it because I couldn't connect to any of the characters for some reason. Not one of them I could relate to, not one of them was enjoyable. I kind of just sat there with a really, like, ick face for most of them. They kind of just sucked in my opinion. The book itself was good. It was good. It was good to kind of show the lives of the higher ups and how it affects people. But at the same time, it was just, they weren't enjoyable, and that was I feel like that was part of the whole point of the book, was to not like the characters. You weren't meant to like the characters. You weren't meant to enjoy anything that went on in the book. It was meant to kind of just teach a lesson, I feel like, which is a very interesting concept. But at the same time, it just kind of made the book unenjoyable for that same reason. But that's the thing about art. It's meant to disturb the comfort and comfort the disturbed, which was a great thing this book did. It did a wonderful job of doing that. But it was just, for that same reason, it just was not enjoyable in my opinion, sadly. I wish I could enjoy it. I feel like there should be at least one character you root for in the story, but I couldn't even root for the characters they wanted you to root for, which really sucked. Honestly, Wuthering Heights wasn't a terrible book, but it wasn't enjoyable either. But, sometimes you enjoy books, sometimes you don't. And honestly, I love reading. Most people will tell you they don't like reading, or they're forced to read. I loved reading, and my own room kind of looks like a library with how many books I have. But they're all romance books, sadly. But I think that's kind of a thing that makes sense for a succubus, which is what I am. I am a succubus, or succubi in this case. I am a succubi. And I own a lot of romance books. Because honestly, I enjoy romance. Almost like 90% of the books in my room are romance. I do own a few adventure books, which is kind of nice. But for the most part, I do own a lot of romance. I loved it. I love seeing characters get together. I love the silly shenanigans they have to go through to get together. But it irritates me at the same time. It really does. It really does irk me. The stupid characters that get in the relationships. I'm gonna call them walls. There's a more worse word I would like to call them. But for the sake of not wanting to get my video in trouble, we're just gonna call them walls. I think you'll know the actual word I want to use for them. And I hate those characters so much. Really, I do. They're just annoys me because the characters are so close, just so close to getting together, and then the wall will come in and break any romantic tension the characters have. And then we gotta start the process all over again. And I know the point of that is so they can stretch out the series as much as they can. But at the same time, it irks me how, no matter how hard you try, it just irks me. It really does. It really irks me. them ruining everything. Because it just feels like watching a team fail, like watching... It's like watching a sport. Okay, watching a sport, and then seeing your team get so close to the goal, only for the goalie to block them, and it sucks. And it irks you because they had it. They were so close to winning, only for them to fail. And I don't know why shows feel the need to stretch out the romantic will they, won't they situation so much. Because what you could do is make half the season them getting together, and then the other half them being together. For example, I don't know how you pronounce this show. Horiyamne? I have a hard time pronouncing the show. It's a weird title. But I love that show. It's basically about a uptight girl who meets this nerd who's the nerd in class, but outside he's a kind of this edgy gothic bad boy kind of attire outside of school, so you would not know the two of them were the same person. And she falls in love with him, blah 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 shenanigans, blah blah, them getting together, and then the rest, half of that season is them getting together, and then the other half is them actually being a part of the relationship, exploring that relationship, which is such a great concept to have, because it still has a will they, won't they, and then fans can actually enjoy them being together and see these silly shenanigans of them working through the relationship. And it always upsets me how sometimes when a show feels like they're just over and done with once the characters get together, because that's not true. Like, a character can be... Like, the show does not have to end when the characters say, I'm in love with you. It doesn't. You can continue on the series and have them, show them what it's like when they're together, the silly shenanigans they get together, how they work together, the dates they go on. You could have so much to work with that. I guess when it comes to anime stuff, though, they only can go as far as the manga goes. But even then, I don't know why the manga doesn't do that. Like, some do, don't get me wrong, some do go further past that. But I think some people are just scared of having the stereotypical sequel that just ends bad. Which does happen. A lot of shows that I've watched have had sequels that just, they suck. They're not great, sadly. I wish there were sequels that did well, and there are some sequels that do well. But For Romance does not have a great kind of like continuation sequels for sometimes, which really sucks. But honestly, I do think you could do well with sequels if done right, as long as it's just for fun and not anything by it. I think that could be really enjoyable. I know a couple of shows or books or mangas that I would really do enjoy having sequels of, but I think the main point you need to know is just when to stop and if you can continue. And one thing I would recommend is just listening to the fans, because that's a great way to write a great story, is just, what do the fans want to see? And that's what I do sometimes when I create my content, is what do you guys want to see? What do you guys want to hear? What are you guys interested for? Because you're making this content not only for yourself, but you're making it for the people who watch it. And you kind of understand what do they want to see or hear or watch. And sometimes you don't have, I'm not saying take the entirety of their advice to heart, but what you can do is take little bits and pieces and kind of let that inspire you for what you should put in your show. Oh God, I'm stumbling. This is why I don't want to do lives, because I'm constantly stumbling over my own words. Oh my God, it's really embarrassing. I don't know why I do that. I think it's just the fact that I talk too much and then my tongue gets tired and I end up going, ugh. But, honestly, these shows are really fun. I do enjoy them. I don't know. Anyways, I think our live stream's been going on for a really long time. I'm sad that no one joined in, sadly. But maybe next time when we do a live stream, because this was kind of just a test run to see how the live stream would go, sadly. But, maybe next time we do a live stream, we can see what happens. Maybe we'll get to play some games. Maybe I'll prepare better. I'll play, get some games going. Maybe get some questions going on. Maybe just something fun to do while the live stream's going on. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe write down in the comments what you want to see in the live stream that happens next. Do you want to see games? Do you want to just have a chat? I'm kind of curious. Anyways, you'll have a devious day, you guys. Bye!